we feel very valued. We feel very seen. And I think what's unique about Poly, they want to grow with us. I am president and co-founder of Remarkable Mortgage. We are a division of Oconee State Bank. Oconee State Bank has been around for over 60 years, headquartered in Watkinsville, Georgia. I thought I wanted to go into school counseling, believe it or not. And I graduated from the University of Georgia on a Friday, and I jumped into the mortgage industry on that Monday. And I've ridden the awesome wave. I didn't realize going into the mortgage industry, but knowing that I get that one-on-one personal relationship, and then them, my clients coming to me and say, hey, we need advice. We don't really know what to do. And I love acting as that kind of co-pilot in that journey where I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I'm going to present all the options and say, hey, this is what I feel is your best opportunity for you to build wealth through homeownership. Our kind of operational setup is very unique, I think, in the market. We act as a delegated correspondent. Our operations are very similar to like a lender, right? So we process, we underwrite, and we fund with the ability in our partnership with the bank. So we're using our own money to fund the loans. But through the delegated correspondent relationship, we shop around and we shop around with investors to try to find our customer the right deal. And so we have a great slew of investors on the conventional side and FHA and VA. And so the ability, I think, to also control that process while also almost pricing like a broker, it allows our loan officers, I think, to have the confidence of knowing like, hey, I have some of the best investors that we can select from, and our ability to, be very, very nimble. What Poly can bring to us is it allows us to see accurate pricing very quickly rather than going into every single investor one by one and trying to figure out like, okay, hey, who's winning today, right? And making sure there's guardrails in place and guidelines in place to make sure that we're not locking a loan that an investor says, hey, we don't want that loan, right? Based on debt to income ratio or credit score. One cool thing too is that Poly allowed us to bring our portfolio products in there as well. And they kind of held our hand to that too, because that's a big lift. That's like very complicated, for somebody who's going 100 miles an hour, for them to take that on so that, our loan officers can see accurate pricing, not just on the secondary market, but the Oconee State Bank products too, where we can accurately lock that loan as soon as possible. That's been a challenging landscape in mortgage world, since 2022. And I think one of the quotes that I love the most is like, generals were never made in a time of peace, but always at a time of war. And so I feel that we have got our battle scars. Early on in our stages, we obsessed over making sure our operations were so dialed in and that they were predictable, because I feel that predictability leads to profitability. And if you can have a predictable process every single time, that reputation will go out. We've seen a lot of growth, even from 2023 to 2024. We did 50% more loans. I think that has a lot to do with our predictability of our operations team, how operations is just making it happen. And then our loan officers doing what they need to do every single day to go out and get the business. When we're looking at tech stack, everything's got to be integrated. There can't be any double entry, all the way from our product and pricing engine, all the way to the CRM that we're using. And it's all got to be connected and through, our loan origination system, because there can be some fragments, in the mortgage tech stack. But when we're evaluating vendors and partners, we're looking at speed, we're looking at accessibility. And I think it centers around that, because we want to communicate well. We want to close on time, and then we don't want to bait and switch our customers. Talking digital transformation, I think really starts at our, the point of sale. It also includes like our product pricing engine. Our loan officers are depending on something quick and reliable and fast to figure out like what is the best solution for my client, right? What lenders are stacking up, and then to be able to say, hey, I want an FHA loan at 3.5% or versus a conventional at 5%, which feeds back into the loan origination software. So I think it's the API connection is very important to us. and, through front end point of sale, all of those have to be interconnected and work very quickly, right? Because a loan officer needs to get, they're going 100 miles an hour. And then not only, it could be very fast, but it has to be accurate as well. And I think that's very, very important. We were evaluating what are other lenders going to? What are the larger independent mortgage banks? Or what are the larger banks? What are they doing? And all I heard was everyone's switching to Poly. I think from a user interface and a user design and an overall loan officer configurability, I think the technology speaks for itself. And I think what's unique about Poly, they want to grow with us. As we grow and add loan officers on, they grow too. We wanted that alignment, not only from a growth standpoint, but also culture. We wanted to be able to get on the phone and say, hey, we got this problem, somebody hop on a Zoom call and snap of a finger, they're there. Poly understands they're just as frustrated at the market as us of okay, it doesn't need to be this difficult in terms of your PPE provider. They see that need. And so, I was kind of skating where the puck was going, so to speak. The flexibility and the usability of actually locking in the loans on the backside, it's very easy. It's very smooth. It's not confusing, to be able to enter in concession requests or, to change discount points within the system. I think our loan officers, it's all built into the LOS, which is nice. And they've seen a lift, but I think just from, with our size, sometimes I got to go in there and lock these loans, right? And so I wanted something that was really easy. And yeah, I mean, it's been a great selection so far. I would say I'm most excited about the technology advancements with AI involving the point of sale and the loan origination system. I think it's upon us already, and I'm really excited that all of the vendors that we have spoken about, I think they really are forward thinking, and they're always changing, always adapting, always rolling out something new. Moving towards this thing called task-based workflow is really important from an operational standpoint, meaning that processors and loan officer assistants, we want them to go in every single day and not be confused on what do I work on today, right? That is a major issue. And we're trying to solve that, through our technology. So I'm excited. AI does not scare me. It excites me. That's the direction that I think all lenders are trying to figure out, what does it mean and what's it going to impact? I'm a firm believer that the loan officer will be around for a long time. I do feel that way. I think AI is going to help our jobs tremendously. I'm excited for the future.